Yeah, go ahead, Sophie. So week 6 live Q&A. We've got Sophie and Sarah.
I know Sarah has had time to look at the
replays, some of it.
Yeah,
some of it, yeah. It's a long one. It's yeah, you might need to put that one on double speed.
You always say that, Lee, but I wouldn't want to miss a second of your tutorials. I love them.
You guys are so sweet. You're so sweet. I'll be like, fast forward. I feel like, isn't it interesting? Perception is that I think I just blabber, and you know, and then I see the blank faces when I start talking the blockchain and stuff like that, and then I just think, because when you hear yourself, that's why I try not to replay them back, because all I hear is so yeah, you're all so kind. But I'm grateful that you know, you're watching them and getting the content, because a few women are saying, I feel so far behind. And so the message was today, one of the strong messages coming through was that, just, you know, even if you catch 10 minutes of it, it's what you needed in the moment. And even if you don't get that call, you're not meant to get that one. It doesn't really matter. We've got such a supportive community that everyone's bursting at the seams to help you. So you know, when it comes to the technical, and what I do is, I just want to highlight it as well, is like, if we have chat in the thread, then what I'll do is I'll try and remove a lot of that once we've got the, you know, it resolved. So rather than go to private, because it's going to be beneficial for somebody, and it's just showing people that it's okay to have chat. And then I'll try and remove some of the detail, just, you know, because if someone's trying to catch it back up. But yeah, I created that, and you're all open to that. So it's like, well, let's just keep it going. If you need specific technical support, then it is what it is. And we're halfway through now. So it's like bringing it all in and, you know, get everything resolved. Like, what do you need to know? So yeah. So thank you. Okay, Sophie, what questions have you got?
Yeah, it was 2 specific questions. One was regarding Flare, and I don't think in week 6 call you talked about it, but I haven't watched week 5. I've watched week 4, but I haven't watched week 5, so I'm not sure whether it's all explained in one of the calls. But
I explained it today. So if you catch today's replay, I talked specifically about the Flare network and the logo and all that kind of stuff. There will be more, like, you'll need more, like it will be just more and more and more as we go through, particularly when the ecosystem drops. So it's in testing right now. So I think, you know, next week, the week after, we can really start playing and understanding, well, you know, getting to grips with what is the Flare network, what would it look like? We just, right now we're really on the outside. And soon, once we're in there, I think that then the questions will become clearer. I mean, we can't, obviously it's not live, but you can kind of start to get a feel for it. It is tricky, like it's really challenging me. But the great thing is that once you've staked, put in, hey, I want to hold a certain amount of money in here, of my, say I want to hold and stake 500 XRP today. And, you know, we can just yield that in 24 hours. You can take that out and reward yourself. So the same principles apply with your cryptocurrency that will be available in the Flare network ecosystem. And the Flare network is really replacing the Ethereum protocol that we're using right now, that's costing us an absolute fortune to exchange. And it's unpredictable. And so the Flare network really is a more advanced blockchain and a more advanced Ethereum network. So we send Bitcoin over the Ethereum network. You know, most coins use the Ethereum network. And so it's going to remove fees. It's going to improve latency. So we're going to get immediate coins, you know, we'll send to each other and it'll be immediate. Be like, Sophie, here's some coins. And it'll be like, notification. So we're starting to see that with accounts like Wise, you know, TransferWise and things like that. And I just got notification as well. So I need to share this with you, is around XDC. So if you can load up the bags more and more.
I bought some yesterday. Finally,
so as much as you can afford. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Lee, are you saying more XDC than XRP now, or just for a little while?
No. XRP is 90% of my portfolio.
Still, okay, but just whatever extras you've got, just to pop in there like last week.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute winner. Yeah. So XRP is too. But XDC, because it's such a low, it's such a low entry point. So even with 10% of your, so you've got $100, even with $10, you can get so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whereas XRP now is, well, in Australia is around 70 cents. So, you know, it's I'm like, it's starting to hike up. I'm like, oh, should I buy? It's like 70 cents. Yeah, it's interesting how we change. So responding to that, it's opening up a whole conversation of the Flare network, but it's like, I'm still learning it too, Sophie. So I don't really, the technology, all I really know is what's problem is Ripple solving, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I drop a little bit more. I think you're going to need and want more. So just keep asking more questions.
Yeah, because I as I told you, I looked at the website and I tried to read and I didn't understand 75% of the words they were using. And I was
love how you just
hear what you're talking about.
Yeah, I love how you're searching and researching. And it's like, I feel like it's just repetition. I feel like, so I've been doing this for 4 months now, and I've been in the beta system. And honestly, I was just like, whoa. So the learning curve is massive. But I think that, you know, my role really here is to simplify. What do you need to do?
Right.
How can you earn money? You know, so I'll be breaking down the practical sense. And then you're starting to learn the terminology. And some of it's beneficial for certainty. Like some women need to have absolute certainty, because what we picked up today, well, what I was sensing is that, you know, confidence is still being a little bit swayed, you know, in terms of your capability to earn big money, capability to build a business, you know, all this kind of confidence that plays out, you know, especially when you're starting to play in the financial space. So, I just see Flare as like its own consciousness, and it's like a new way to transact that's fast and cheap. And rather than playing in buying Bitcoin or Ethereum, we're playing now with associated technologies that are providing us with real-time transactions and pretty much taking away a lot of pain from people who had to send money home to their families and things like that. Like Ripple is here to solve a big problem, and they will not stop until it's done. You know, so even driving with that, knowing, being part of that network of the infrastructure, you know, like infrastructure meaning the servers, the pipe, you know, if you want to call them pipes. I mean, it's digital transactions, right? But it needs technology to support me sending coins from here in Australia to you in London. You know, there needs to be some supporting technology. And then you've got your airlines, and then you've got your travel industries, and you've got your online travel agents. And, you know, so all these different companies are going to have to, anyone who takes payment, pretty much any online commerce, you know, wants fast, no fees. You know, think about all the small business owners that pay fees. So Ripple is now taken from big corporate. So the governments have already implemented Ripple, the company, but like XRP infrastructure. And then now it's moving to like B2B, so business to business. So if I have to pay my procurement, my supply order, you know, you don't want to be paying fees if I have to supply, you know, paying you in London to send me goods. So it's opening up trade. It's solving so many problems. And the ripple effect, interesting enough, the company, the ripple effect of that is huge. And it's everything we've been calling for particularly in Australia. Like internet has just been so slow and so expensive. So now we've got like Starlink, and now we've got XRP is the quantum financial system, you know, no fraud, adding in the intricacies of smart contracts. So that's another technology. It's just bridging it together. But all we really need to know is that the Flare network is an ecosystem where, you know, we get to play in. So we have our XRP. Now they've created additional technology, which is called Spark, which is the smart contracts. So we're going to play with that together. So we're going to put them together, and then we're going to go pull it into a big global pool of funds and say, here, have my XRP for the day. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to reap profits. Now, there'll be lockup periods and things like that for like 30 days. You know, you're starting to see all this kind of stuff being launched now where you can stake, you know, and earn 6%, 12%, all these sort of things are coming out now. So that's all we really need to know, is that we're done with not knowing what fees we're going to pay. Imagine big companies. I mean, most big portfolio holders couldn't tell you how much they were going to pay in fees over the Ethereum network, because Ethereum would decide the amount of money that miners are making. So miners are only really interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum because they get a big chunk of that money. Mm-hmm. So they're not interested in XRP. But XRP doesn't need them. Mm. You know, so the technology's changed. So you can see that there was a lot of resistance, I guess.
Because there is no mining in all those for all those currencies. There is no mining. It's a completely different process, isn't it? It's
a different process. I'm yet to fully get it, but yeah, they're starting to advertise now that there's, you know, there's no role for miners now. You know, there still is, because there's all these Ethereum network coins. But you can see why, as a miner, if you have a full setup, computer setup and everything like that, you're going to get, say you get $1 per transaction for Bitcoin, but you get like, I don't know, 0.03 cents for sending Tron, or, you know, connecting Tron. So you're not going to use your computing power for anything but Bitcoin. You'd just be focused on Bitcoin, which is why all the marketing, which is why, you know, like it's where they're making so much money. And so all those, well, it was like slave labor, really. Well, who knows? But, you know, all those roles will be removed. So, yeah. So you still need the infrastructure, though. You still, you know, you still need experts and things like that. But yeah, that whole role of mining coins feels really archaic from my perspective. I didn't really get how that works. It's like you've got to send a transaction from here to here. There's, in one of our wallets, CoinSpot, you have to sometimes, depending on the coin, you have to put a manual transaction number in. So it's still sort of moving over to the new platform, I guess, the new network. But you'll see, you can tell the coins that are on the Flare network, they're fast. You can tell who's transitioned.
Because I tried to
what's that?
Fast and efficient.
Yes.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. That's what we've been driving for all this time. It's like having a business where you can make a difference. Like we haven't really had, you know, they say have a voice, but it's like you haven't really had a voice in how you invest or how things turn out. It's like, you know, you sign up an MLM and you be a coach, but you don't really have an influence until now. Like now you even have an influence on what's called voting and things like that. But yeah. We'll keep dropping that. I'll keep dropping it as I'm learning it. But, you know, some of us will start picking it up a lot quicker. There's some very experienced traders in the community. So there'll be a point where I'll get so far, I can show you the day-to-day, but in terms of knowledge, I think as a community, we're all at different levels. So we'll be able to sort of share and create some further understanding, because there's no one out there that's explaining it. I can't really get my head around it either. So I feel like once we nail it, then we'll explain it.
Yeah. There's a lot of fear. I think it's so funny. Sorry, Sophie. I was talking to a girlfriend very briefly yesterday because her husband invests, my husband invests, and now it's completely different, but we're in this space, you know, and of course we're investing. And she's so scared. And it's everything you said before, Lee, about how even some of us in this community, we're cautious or taking steps. Every step, like 2 weeks ago, I had no idea how to transfer or how to, and you set something up about XDC. I wanted it. It took me like 2 minutes. I just did it. And 2 weeks ago, that would have been impossible for me. So what you said before about moving into the next stage, it's for me now, it's just words until I move into it. And I know now it happens with grace, because we're all in here for a reason, and we're all stepping up in our own way at our own time. And it's just, it blows my mind. Like seriously.
Once you've done one wallet, once you've done one wallet, and once you've done Bitrue or, you know, or a wallet, a trading wallet, then you've nailed it. I mean, you know, each wallet I open, I'm like, oh gosh, now how do I get this through? But like, it's the same challenges. It's an open orders, or it's here, you know, everyone has the, you know, and then I have to go and have a cup of tea and come back to it. But it's the same, right? You know, Olga, I said, what do you do? Because she's Mexican. I said, what do you do? She's like, oh, we go have a shot of tequila. I'm like, well, that's it. Have a shot of tequila and then come back to it. But I mean, it is like that. It's like, there's no question on the intelligence. It's just the capacity. That's all it's been. I've recognized is the capacity. Women traditionally were so full, like, and so the thought of sitting down at a computer where the past has been, where the computer has just been a nightmare. You know, even signing up to my first exchange, I was just like, but then I was just, do you know what I mean? When you get that, when a woman gets a drive that she's going to learn something, there's no stopping her. I was like, I'm going to learn cryptocurrency. I mean, that was so far from where I was, you know. So yeah, it's
but it's amazing that you said that, because we all experienced that I know you did 4 months ago, but we all experienced that in the first week. And just thinking about even just changing your 2FA or any of those, they felt like a mountain. And when you start navigating through, and then you start saying, oh, we're going to learn about Nexo, or we're going to start staking this, it's such a smooth transition because we've been through all of the hard stuff. And so it just feels so freeing. Yeah. And even learning about it, like I read now and I'm like, okay, I got that. I understand that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Or what does that mean? I don't know. Google. Whatever. You know, you can get through anything, because women are phenomenal problem solvers, phenomenal. And they make fabulous project managers, you know, and I was never qualified, but it was all about, okay, you know, calm people down. What do we need to do? Breathe. Because it's like, what's the outcome? Where do you want to get to? And so when I get these private messages, it's like, where do we want to go? What are you trying to achieve? Once we get that, it's really clear. And that's how we set goals and things like that. So it's just applying the same principles. But yeah, I kind of see it as that, you know, that rocket ship where we're fired up and now we're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, in the rocket, when you see it on TV and then it cruises, that's kind of what it feels like. We're now in space. So it's like, oh, that planet, oh, you know. So yeah, exciting.
It still feels a bit, it still feels, or yesterday I bought XDC, it went great. And then I tried to buy Sparks and it was on Bitrue, and it was more complicated, and then it was late, and then in the end I got really saturated and overwhelmed, and I snapped at my partner because I had been doing it for too long.
I know you want to buy it, and I get why. It's gone right up, so it's just over $1 now. So
yeah, I saw that.
If money is if you're managing your money right now, so there's not an influx, I would look at more XDC and potentially XLabs. And then there's a few others, but making sure that your XRP is full, and making sure that your XLM, Algo, IOTA, making sure your bags are full for that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be time to, so even if you had Doge, even if you had more Doge, yeah, I mean, you can still buy Flare, but Flare is IOU right now, which means that there's nothing there, you can't trade it.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you really want it, I mean, I've got a few because I'm getting freebies coming, but I bought, I can't remember, it was like $30 worth or something like that. So just because I just wanted to, I was like you guys, I was just like, okay, I just want to see how it all works. I was just practicing buying. So if you still want it, just wait for it to kind of level. Yeah.
Okay. No, I still want it. Yesterday I got a very strong yes for Flare.
Okay. So yeah, just
XDC.
Okay. Cup of tea or whatever it is.
yeah. I'm having my Healy on just to calm down, because yesterday I got just saturated and overwhelmed, and I didn't listen to myself because I'm very stubborn, and I was like, no, I want to do this now. And my partner said, you want to take a break, you can buy it tomorrow. I said, I want to do it now. And then I got saturated.
With crypto, just listen to those callings, because I get that too. I'm like a dog with a bone. Like I have to buy now, and my eyes are popping out, like I'm just like, I've got to buy. So if you got to buy, you got to buy. Yeah. It is what it is, because you know what? It's really important. It's really important. And it's a high priority in my life right now. I know that it's not my life forever, thank goodness, but it's like, it's a high priority right now. For these 4 months, it's been total focus. Yeah. I mean, that's how I know you get results. So if it's I'll get to it when so just really honor the fact that you were like, oh, I've got to have this. I get sometimes we do need to walk away, but I find that really difficult. If I want something, I'll stay up until it's done. But I've got that flexibility, but also with your Healy run Coherence, which is the new programs.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you tried it? Have you all tried it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Oh,
so that's a freebie. So that's really going to change the game. It's going to be a bit of our secret weapon. Healy has been a secret weapon when it comes to learning. So and if you're tired and stressed, which a lot of mothers, healers, light workers are really feeling the pinch right now. So make sure that you're running the balance and the care. And you have to run that before you're giving it to your children or your partner or your friends, or you're the priority. You cannot hold wealth unless you are in tip-top shape. Yeah, you just can't make great decisions. And so, but I get you. Like we were talking about this today. It's like people saying, how often do you check your account? I was like, oh, I don't know, about 100 times a day. Like, also, it's not just me. I'm like, no. Because I love it. It's an interest. And so
it does become an addiction. It becomes an addiction.
I'm addicted to it. But I also know that, I've got the balance with, the winds of spirit. So it's like, it's like if I'm not paying attention to that program, so where's my priorities in my life? If I'm not paying attention to family, you've almost got to carve out the time, I think. But right now it's okay. It's okay to like put everything aside and just focus on this. It really does. It really matters right now. Like timing is everything right now. You can't leave this till next month. I wouldn't be running this course if you could leave it till next month. Do you know what I mean? Like the urgency was now. That's why. Otherwise, I would have just been like, drop in a couple of, bit of information in the threads, and some people would pick it up and some wouldn't. No, I'm like, no, you will learn. You will open your accounts. You will like, I just kept hassling every one of you. So, yeah, it's for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What questions have you got? Any techie questions?
Yes, but I'm going to let Sarah ask.
No, go ahead, Sophie. I'm in the flow. I just wanted to absorb, so it's okay. I have one light bulb at the end, so that's go ahead.
Okay, so the Brave browser. So yesterday I saw that we were trying, because I saw that I have a couple of BAT, but I don't know how to link it to. Because I tried it with Clever.
You can't. You got to do Uphold.
It has to be Uphold.
Yeah. So when I Googled it, like I just did a search, what's supporting Brave at the moment, the only wallet is Uphold.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got to link your Uphold wallet. So are you signed into Uphold yet? Have you registered?
No. I'm going to do it today then. Uphold that I can.
That's another one. So, and I talk about the Brave browser on today's call as well, if you need a recap on that. But yeah, that's why you can link it. Clever is a really cute wallet. It's just that they're not that far. They haven't got the far reach just yet. So that's why I always stay with wallets that are more global, and, some of them are harder to use, but, Clever's it's not a closed wallet because you can send inside and out, but I'm just not sure of the development and the partnerships, if that makes sense, because everything.
It's quite limited. There are a lot of, I'm pretty sure it's expensive. It's difficult to see the fees that you're paying.
Yeah, I don't
know how to look for it.
You could probably just search, but it doesn't really matter, because it's like you'll start to move away from it if it doesn't get the partnerships that they're going to require you to move forward into the Flare. Flare's got its own wallet coming out. It's in beta testing now with 2 labs, which I talk about today. You know, you can just see us moving there. And BitTrue has got partnership with Flare Network, so that's why I could see our immediate future. Look how agile we have to be. Like, I'll jump on a call one week and I'll say this, and the next week I'm like, now I'm moving here. I'm moving at a very, very fast pace for the average female. If you, well, you know, no one's average, but you get what I'm saying. The average capacity, most people would have given up. There's no way that the majority would have been able to come through this. So you are the minority. So it's like the chosen ones. It's like you've got the aptitude, the curiosity, the research powers, the determination, you know, like you're like me, like you will stick at it until it's done. Sarah, you've got this. you will just keep going, right? So yeah.
How important is it to, sorry, Sophie, how important is it to have a safe wallet? Because I don't have one. I don't have much funds in though.
It's an intuitive tune in. So there was a certain point where I felt that, you know, I was watching world markets and I was feeling the pulse of the communities, and I was getting a sense that it's time. So if you're feeling, and I did it for my own safety, like as in because I was sensing that there was something happening in the world markets. And I don't know, now I'm starting to wonder whether they're just leading us, you know, like leading us to download Signal, you know, and then nothing happens. But you know the stuff that I post like, okay, right, wallets, safe, you know, I'm sharing because this is what I think is happening. It's kind of like a military operation where they're using psychology of people to wake everyone up, right? So they're going, I'm going, okay, markets are, look at the Dow, look at the markets, you know, so we're leading, if you know what I mean. Like we're getting the sense, okay, things are shifting and changing, world events, and then you watch the news, right? And it's like finally been leaked that something happened, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago. And so it's a way to wake people up. It's actually phenomenal watching the psychology of what's going on. Like it's just incredible. And it's like, really? And it's like, you kind of had a sense, but you know, I'm loving it because if I don't watch the news very often, but if I turn it on, I'm like, oh, they're saying that, so that means that, and like putting all the pieces together, because it's usually opposite of what is actually happening. But it's like, now I get why they're putting that there, to get people to think, you know, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure that I'm not following the news at all. So I only get from what you're saying, you know, about the Panama and everything. That's when I go and research, but I'm not following the news at all. And actually now, before it was just like, I know it's all bullshit, so I'm not interested. But now that you're seeing it all as a game, it's going to be a lot more interesting to be watching it, because before it was just total fiction. I'm not interested, especially the fear bullshit that we've
it's theater. It's theater, and it's like you'll listen to something and you'll be like, is that real? Because it's like, well, most of it's not. So it's like, always read between the lines. So I find it fascinating, and I think women who are intellectually connected, which you all are, this is reawakening, you know, that connectivity, if you like, you know, to your intuition. And it's like, now you get to play, and it's like Sudoku, it's like decoding astrology, decoding numbers. Like, it's like, so, you know, the latest drop is like 5, 8, 9, 5, 8, 9. And everyone's like, what's that mean? Now 5, 8, 9 is the COMEX rule, which is, you know, to do with the quantum financial system, to do with, you know, new legislation. And it's like 5, 8, 9. And then that's the talk that XRP is going to be 5, 8, 9. So there's all this, you know, it's all connected. And then, you know, with the Suez Canal, it's like taking everyone's attention there, taking it away from here. But really, it's just like bringing awareness to what's been going on for the last decade. But really, that's all clear. But there's an underlying meaning, and it's at Easter. You know, everything's connected. This is what's so fascinating. That's why I'm saying to people, it's like, forget the healing, forget the coaching, just deep dive into world events, and that will really stimulate you on so many different levels, and you'll be able to have such a deep conversation that you've been yearning for so long, because all these surface conversations that you've been having with people that you don't quite connect with, it hasn't really been lighting you up. I mean, let's be honest here. I've had many dinner parties where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because I don't know if we're the girls that really want to talk about, we want to talk about fashion, but we want to talk about it in a sense of color and how it makes us feel, and that kind of stuff. I don't know if we're the label girls. We're not really. It's really interesting. It's yeah, what's happening. We could go on and on.
It's funny that you said that, because I was surrounded by two intellects the other day, and my husband and his best friend, whose IQ is just off the chart. And that very day, I taught him a little bit about crypto, because he's like, yeah, but you can't spend it. I'm like, ka-ching, look at my Wirex card, so we'd already had that conversation. And it was such a strange thing for me to be able to teach him something. Yeah. And I'm like, and it's green, But then that night we talked about the Suez Canal. And I just sat there, and normally I would sort of just listen, especially because it often turns back to German. But this time it was in English. And I said, yeah, but it's been manipulated. There's definitely, something about it. And they're like, how could you think that? And I just looked at them, and I didn't try to convince them of anything. I just said, how could you not? Yeah. I'm like, look at it. Look what it's changing. And I didn't have to then say anything. They were able to, I didn't want to convince anybody. I just popped it out there. And the conversation that unraveled afterwards about how the driver looks like he'd driven a penis, and everything that happened afterwards, everyone being stuck and not being able to get through, trade, everything. And I just sat there smiling, because it was so obvious to me. You said hilarious. One post, and it was so obvious to me, yet everyone's still in this, and these are intellects, they've still got their blinkers on. I'm like, this is so that's what blows my mind, is because you see people, I'm feeling a great sense of disconnect, because you see people that, some of my friends, and they're so intelligent, they're so, cultured, and they're not seeing it. And to me, it is so obvious. You don't even have to, it's just so obvious. And they're not, so at your dinner party, your friends finally saw it, but with me, they're not seeing it. They're like, but
so
blah, blah,
blah. I'm learning,
no, but how could you?
What I'm learning with that is, and Sarah, you have this really beautiful ability to not undermine anybody, and this is what I'm learning, is you never want to undermine someone's intelligence, right? But these people, what they don't realize is that their education is just it's like it's going to mean nothing. I mean, so it's like dropping it. The real intelligence comes from the wisdom that you all have, and it's like, and the intuition, and it's like being very clever. Make your challenge the cleverness with your language of what you drop. So that they might not say it because that's going to hurt their ego in that moment, but they might come back to you in a year going, hey, Sophie, thank you so much for just kind of opening my mind to other possibilities. Or, you just never know how you influence people. But your wisdom is now your intellect. Like it's like our time has come. It's like, because I was never the IQ girl, and, I had street knowledge. So now it's like, now is our time. So we're actually the intelligent beings now. And it's almost like we've been kind of sitting around the outside, and now we've been called to the dinner table.
Yeah, but I find also language is different too, because I used to feel when I spoke that I had to kind of convince people and let them understand why. And if I didn't have the full picture or exactly remember the words, I would feel like I've let them down. But now, because I know it and I feel it, I just say something that challenges them, and then let that conversation go. Because I don't have all the facts, but I have enough to know that there's something bigger than what they're talking about. And I think that's the game changer for me, because I'm comfortable in the space. I don't know everything, but I know enough to challenge what the news is saying or what the people think is reality when it's actually not. And that came from you, Lee.
Well, it's, we don't know. I don't know. So what I'll do is I'll have a conversation. I'll say, what do you know about world events? And, people will divulge. It's just asking great questions. And say, it's a really interesting perspective, because when I saw that, I was wondering like how that was connected. And then I had this sense. So you're just, because you don't have the answers. Like none of us do. We'd like to think we do.
The questions are important.
I don't know, you know, like we don't know. But what we do know is that everything that we've learned and we were taught, and history has just been thrown upside down. It's just, so it's you know, when they said Great Awakening, I was just like, what are they on about? I was just like, oh, it's a different energy, or, you know, I really didn't know what people were on about. You know, because you know, there's a difference between preaching and being influential. I think true leadership is just dropping those little nuggets of, you know, there could be something different going on here than what we you know, what we see. I'm feeling and sensing something is behind all this. It's definitely directing our attention. Yeah, interesting times. It's
fascinating times.
I'm seeing really high-end coaches actually have to humble down. They don't know what they're talking about. They're still preaching the same stuff, and they have no idea what's going on in the world. You know when someone's not tapping into their intuition, because they're coming with ego, intellect. Like if they talk about Bitcoin, you know. If they talk about well, actually, Joe mentioned it this week. One of the girls, she said, a friend of mine said that they had an NFT, a non-fungible token, and it's worth 500,000 or something. And I'm like, well, non-fungible tokens are a bid, so it's whatever anyone wants to pay for it. Right. So is that like, is he just bragging, or, you know, is it worth 500,000? Because I don't say mine's supposed to be worth 20K, but like, I mean, is anyone going to buy it? To me, it just looks like really, really masculine art. I've got some guy in a samurai suit, you know, digital art. It doesn't, you know, art is in the eye of the beholder, right? Unless it has utility. I'm like, if they got utility, because, you know, I'm all about like, what does the man in the armor with the big sword do? Does he do something? And they're like, no, Lee. I'm like, oh, you know, so it's, but you know, this makes sense, right? So even though that comes across silly, it's like, well, this is what my truth is. Like, things need to make sense to me. They can't just, you know, I'm not just going to buy air. I want to know that it's making a difference, because that's really important to me. So yeah, it's really, really great times for intuition. You know, when people are not using intuition, and like Sophie, honestly, half of them, it's going to be really tough, but they won't be coming with you in terms of, it's sad, isn't it? You know, but
I'm at some point I was trying to go against, I was trying to insist, but I'm not doing it anymore, because it's a waste of my energy. And we all have our own journey, and it's Sarah, what you were saying, in that, you know, you just drop something and then you see the reaction. If they go along, if they ride that wave, that's fine. If the reaction is for some of them, a lot of them, the reaction was quite aggressive, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna be attacked by you because we don't have the same beliefs. That's absolutely fine. So this is where I'm at the moment.
I've had so many fights with Uber drivers that, but I just couldn't help myself. You know, one guy was just like, he was actually from England, and he was just saying to me, he was a political journalist. He knows everything. I'm sitting there going, oh, really? And I've just been fully awakened, and I was like sitting in the car like that. You know, once you go down some of these, you were like, whoa. And yeah, he just wouldn't let up. He's like, it's all of us. They're trying to get you to think that this is this and this is that. And I was actually like, that's not how it is at all. So it's like, you know, so, you know, if you can be the kind of sitting back and just going, oh, this is what I feel. This is what I think might be going on. You know, if he had done that, we would have had a great discussion, you know. And then the next guy said to me, thanks so much for all the info, because I'm just saying, look, we don't really know, but here's what I think is happening. You know, but this perspective says this, and this perspective says this. So you're just dropping seeds, really, because, you know, you have to go and do your own research, because you don't know what's true right now. You don't know what's true. So it's, yeah.
We feel it. We all feel it. That's the thing. We all feel it. Yeah. I've got one question. It popped up in the replay. So Sophie, you might also, I don't want to sway you, Sophie, but remember on Amy's chat, and she said there's something with a B, and then I was listening to Grace, and then she's like, and it's XRB, and all of a sudden that trumpet went off in my head, and I just started giggling. So I don't know how you felt about that, Lee. I wasn't trying to match it. It just kind of popped.
I don't feel it. I'm looking for the B. I didn't ask it on today's call. I had a note to say, has anyone found a B? A few people have sent me different ones. It could be like, I don't know. Like,
you didn't get the feeling. Okay. I got that.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's not it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I hadn't, and because I don't even get the feeling with nano. So
I didn't like the word nano either, but when she said XRB, that's when I got the giggle, and I was like,
and that's how it all happens.
I don't have the pendulum. I'm still just going off how I feel about things, and it was inside, just kind of was bubbly for me.
And you've got to roll with those and do a bit of research, because it's often it's like, you know, the false alarm. Like it's like, because XRB sounds like XRP. Like you don't know. You don't know. I mean, my goodness, if you guys, because I don't have any, but if you girls, I mean, you're all getting hits on it. I dream about it. So, I mean, and you girls are like, have got way stronger intuition than I have. So, you know, you've got very, very, like, you've got a very strong sense, Sarah. You do. So, you know, just follow that hunch and just see where it leads you. And then if you find out any intel, let us know.
Sure.
Yeah. Follow
very
it.
exciting time. Very
you know,
exciting.
I've said stuff to my mentor before. I've said, hey, what about this coin? And he said nothing. He's like, huh? Question mark? Or, you know, and I'm just like, he's not getting what I'm putting down here, you know, and I'm all excited. And I go and buy the coin, and sure enough, it goes up. So yeah. And, you know, it took me a while to come around to Dent. It took me a while to come around to, Dent was the biggest one, actually, that took me ages to come around. I didn't like the name.
I don't like the name. It's the
ages.
same thing.
And I had to look at Starlight. That's interesting. It's not even Starlight, Starlink.
Yeah.
Starlight, Starbright. So yeah, I like the logo. I just didn't like the name. It really didn't work for me. And so often I call it Dent Coin, because I don't, but then I thought about it making a big dent in my portfolio, which should be like a big chunk. So I guess it's just how you perceive things. It's like, I have preconditioning around some language. So I know that now. So, okay. So now, like, it's really interesting. Like I asked deeper questions with my pendulum, because with Dent was a no. But then everyone was buying it, and I was like, oh, and then I saw it going up, and I was like, oh. And so, and then when my mentor mentioned that it was part of Starlink and part of the satellite and all this kind of stuff, and it's predicted to do that, he gave me the background information that I really needed to cement it. So that's why, you know, doing your own research and discerning is really important. Yeah. And so, I mean, I did the same with XRP. XRP was a yes, no question that I was going to get involved in this project. Like it didn't matter what people said to me about Bitcoin, Ethereum, like it didn't even matter. I was like, I wanted to be part of the program that was going to change people's lives. Simple. Yeah. It really wasn't even about the crypto. You know, there was two pieces. Like it was like, okay, I'm going to learn crypto, but I'm also going to be part of a project. And so those things just really lit me up. Yeah, no question. And then when they had all this family, I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't have any Stellar, I didn't have any XLM, I didn't have any IOTA, you know, I only have a small bit of IOTA. But then I quickly shifted to algo. I didn't like algo, you know, so it's just follow the journey, really.
Lee, is XDC and XRP quite similar, but just different products? The XDC is off Ethereum, and the XRP is the new Flare business, right? So they're similar.
You can see the diagram, and XDC, the XinFin is on the XinFin network. So XDC, and it's what all the banking systems, and I don't know a lot, but I just, every time, like it was a full yes for XDC when I first bought it. It was like really, really low value.
I feel good about it too, but I just feel like they're both there's similar things doing something very similar, but of course I still love XRP, but I do also like what XDC is doing. I think it's great.
XRP is only after one solution right now.
Right.
Real-time transactions. Pay you instant. No latency. That's all they're interested in. So to connect with satellite, connect with internet, connect with all the infrastructure to support that mission. It's $1 trillion problem that they're solving. They're only interested in that. So then there's all the other partners. Now the Zinfin network, I understand, is supporting the banking systems because there's some more complexity with you know, the governments and banks and all this kind of stuff. So the Zinfin network, my understanding is it's a lot more complex. But we'd have to go and research XDC, like just to have a research, you know, what does it do?
Yeah, I did yesterday. I had a good look, and I mean, you've put it all in a nutshell, but it's everything. That's the thing, you have to always remember who wrote it, who's trying to convince you. But it said there's going to be more successful than XRP, and I'm like, well then hang on a second, do they know about the X family? Do they know about this? They know about the Spark? So you know, it depends on who wrote it, who's trying to convince you, but I do like it.
XRP and XDC was it feels like two separate networks to solve two different problems to me. I'll see what I find and what I discern, just to help us really understand that. They feel very separate to me. XRP feels like a crypto. XDC feels like a network, and I'm investing in a piece of that network. To me, feels like that, even though they're both cryptos. Yeah, it's really interesting. We'll do a bit more research and just see. But so we've moved beyond that, you know, going down the list, you know, that we had to start there, right? We had to get a hit. We get a hit. We get a yes. We get a no. Now I just get like a complete whack in my arm. It's like, sell this. You know, I've sold coins that most people wouldn't sell. I've sold Zilliqa. I've sold HBAR. You know, I'm all in. So, you know, but they'll all go. I'm sure they'll all go up. I'm sure they'll all be around, but you know, I'm refocusing back to the initial core of what I came in here for, XRP. You know, I've got other coins, but my primary focus is XRP, and it's been a deep initiation of faith and trust and a deep healing experience that I've never experienced before, because I would have been way out by now, way out if it didn't have the community sense and the longevity and the infrastructure behind it. I would have been way gone, because I would be like, this is never going to go up. And I mean, that's only been 4 months, but you know, I moved pretty quickly because it's been all in. And so if it's your only income stream, it's like it became a little bit dependable. So, you know, that's why I started delving in the altcoins, because I could feel that things were shifting a little bit and they were going to give some money back to the people. And so I started delving and researching other projects that were doing equally good project work. But again, everything was going to have to connect into the Flare network. Everything, you know, because it's the blockchain, it's the smarter piece of blockchain, and everything runs off blockchain. It's the database, it's how we store information. So, that's when, you know, we got to play and feel the energies of the new, you know, alternative coins, and stray away from Bitcoin and Ethereum and start to recognize fees and stuff like that, and start to move coins and start to swap out. But then now it's almost like it becomes, you know, we had the child's play, and now it becomes like, okay, now we're adults. It's like we play with the pendulum. We know we've got intuition. We've ignored it before. It's solid. It's grounded. We've got wisdom. It's kind of like the ownership now.
So Lee, what do you see happening when the Flare network opens? Do you see craziness, or do you think our portfolios are going to explode? Like how do you feel, just you personally, not the community, but you, about what's to come?
How do I feel? I mean, I don't know, but I feel growth. I feel prosperity. But I also, my vision, I didn't share this today, but my vision would be that you can't just be anyone talking about crypto, and you can't just be anyone. These MLMs, I think will disappear. I don't think that they will be part of crypto. And I think that crypto will be highly regulated. I think majority of coins will go. And I think that, things like Pancake Swap and all these kinds of things, I think have got people's interest, especially gamers and things like that. And I see the technology moving quicker, and but I feel like we've got mature now. So I see the ecosystem as really grounded, beautiful, fair, transparent. Not only the people, so they're healed people. I don't think if you could go into that network, into that eco-structure unhealed. That's why I'm saying, like, our role here, we have another month. This is our nourishing month, to be really ready and humble to go into that space in a global network of people just like yourself, who have strong intuition, clear on world events. Not everyone in there is up on world events, but they've got an inkling. My mentor is unbelievable in terms of how much knowledge he has. So all these good people, it'll be full of good people, and it will be just open and transparent. And those who are earning the big money are the ones that are highly skilled, as in integrated. They're using your intuition, and then so they're humble. So you won't see, you might see a Ferrari, but it'll be very humble. They'll be going camping, or that photo. It's how do I feel? Like, what would it look like? It's like you wouldn't be granted any more money than you can handle, because of its own sort of consciousness. But you'll just be so humble. The wealth, it's not like you'll be grabbing the wealth and stashing it. It'd just be like flowing, fluid, just lots of money. But you're not going to hey, I'm a millionaire. Like, I don't know. I don't know what.
Lifestyle rather than riches. It's
just mindset. Like, like mine humbled, healthy, and remuneration flowing.
I mean, not necessarily humbled, but grounded.
Yeah, and grounded. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because that's where we're really honing in, right? It's because we talk about it today with the balance between feminine and masculine energies. Most women that I know outside of this community have not balanced their masculine energy, and those who they're the ones that can't make decisions. They can't get anything done. They're so flowy and in flow, and meditating and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's actually unhealthy. It's unhealthy not to have money flowing to you.
Yeah, but you guys talking now about grounding, I'm very contradictory, because all I can see myself is like flying, like I'm almost in a hot air balloon. It's peaceful and I'm flying. Like I feel light, not grounded. I don't know, maybe because it hasn't happened yet.
Grounded just means, for me, embodied.
Yeah.
Embodied, because none of us want to be here, really, like, if we're really honest. Embody. And so most healers and light workers that I'm connected to are out of body. I can tell because they're high. They're flying high. It's all flow. They're meditating daily. You can't really disrupt the meditation. It's like they can't get anything done. It takes them ages to get back to you. I mean, I'm gone. I've bought my portfolio, I'm gone. That to me is grounded.
Gone to get a massage.
Yeah, I'm way gone. Yeah. Gone overseas. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not balanced, you can't make decisions. Your solar plexus is not firing. You're just like,
I understand.
And so that's where, where you can influence is by being grounded. If you're fully integrated, coaches are still sharing, and it's not right or wrong, because I don't know what right or wrong is, but it's like, this is my perception, is that coaches are still sharing that your business has an entity and an energy of its own. I'm challenging now, saying, actually, no, it's all one. And, and even research, of course I do, because it's like, well, I want to check it, is my business out of balance in the solar plexus? Oh, interesting enough, I'm out of balance. So
this is, and I see that shift in the coaches that I follow, because there are future coaches that I follow that I absolutely love. And when you say something about this business, this is exactly what it was. One of the people that I follow, she identifies her business as herself, because she goes within to speak to her business as if it was part of her soul. And they have that conversation where the business is an entity, but it's part of her. It is part of her. And so they have that conversation the same way she would have a conversation with her soul, where the business say, well, no, you know, you're not looking after yourself. And so therefore you're not exactly. So you're not looking after yourself. So you're not looking after me, basically, because that's what it is. You need to look after yourself first, and then, you know, things will flow. And this is the type of conversation it resonates so much more with me than just seeing everything as, yes, standing outside
life, relationships, love.
Exactly.
Like, it's all,
exactly.
I mean, but this is the thing, is like, you know, we're moving out of the karma and into the dharma, where it's like, okay, so how does this fully integrated woman now operate? You know, like completely forgetting trying to forget everything that she's learned.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And it's like, so you just get to go your own way now. You got the rules. And you've always wanted it, right? Like, I've always wanted to go my way. I've always been challenging stuff. Oh, I'd be like, but that doesn't really make sense to me. I'm like, how can your business have a separate energy? I mean, conceptually, I get this. And so there's no right or wrong, right? Because you can still make magic in your business if it has its own entity. But I'm feeling, okay, well, that's been our disconnect all this time. This is why people are exhausted, because it's like putting everything into their business when really they should have been just looking at themselves. And, you know, people do talk about it as being one, but they might not be fully integrated themselves. I think it's like, it's the crossover. You know, and it does come with age. You know, there is a sense of maturity with that, and a groundedness, and so you can conceptually like absorb it, because your brain changes. Well, supposedly. I mean, who knows what the science is now? We get to redefine the rules. And today I just announced that April Fools is actually New Year's Day. So happy New Year's Day. And technically you're all 12 years younger. So, woo! So there's no time or space. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just going to be so weird for friends around you, because it's like, well, you know, they've still got the to-do list. And you're like, what day is it? Because it doesn't matter. But if you can tell them that if we just say you live on the Julian calendar now, it's like just fly by the night. But you see what I mean? Like, if you're just so floaty, people get annoyed because you're not integrated. You just, you know, you need the masculine and feminine energies integrated. It doesn't mean you're less feminine or more masculine. It's just,
no, you've got everything. Yeah. You've got all the, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's true that for this year, I said, what I want is freedom. I want the freedom to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, with whom I want to do it, when I want to do it, how long I want to do it. And that's all. And that's what I want. That's what I want. And so I don't want to be depending on any institution, certainly not the banks. That's the goal. I want to take my money out of the banking system. And I want that freedom. And the green crypto just feels like this is one of my way to get that freedom.
Yeah, I really feel it will be the way, and everything else. I shared my vision on today's call, so it'll be interesting to see what you all feel. But it's like everything else will be either you'll be paid by the state, government, or whatever systems are in play. But yeah, this will be it, and the services will be just because you want to make, you know, you want to help people, or, you know, because you'd get too bored just floating around. So, you know, there'll be some different sort of structures that you can kind of step into: teacher, leader, trainer. You know, obviously we need people, we need services, we still need people to do their jobs, but my vision is that people will be paid, so there'll be like pay bands, and it's like, okay, if you want to stock shelves, you get paid this much, you can just do that. But, you know, all of us, you know, in the crypto space is like, so two pieces. Crypto, you'll need to be trained. Not anyone can train crypto. So you will need to be qualified if we wanted to train this kind of thing. So that leaves it to the experts. And then your role, we've got to decide what that will be, and you'll be paid accordingly. So obviously all of us are going to want to go for the higher band of remuneration, and you'll be paid by the state, the global currency. So we won't be separate countries. I don't foresee that. I don't foresee being paid by Australia. I foresee being paid by a global currency.
A global, right, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm usually pretty spot on with my visions, but, you know, I mean, we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love that you said that, because as much as I hear every woman on here saying they don't want to do anything else, they love being in this space. But when I come back to my daily life, and I have a beautiful son and he's having tummy aches, and it's all like, and I feed him so nutritiously, and then I see other, and I'm getting off, I'll come back around, I'm getting off topic, but I really feel nutrition, because so many people have so many different things going on with their system. So for me, I know that's my passion. When I'm not diving into this and loving this and growing with this, I know I have another purpose, and it'll be so lovely to dive into that when I'm set up and have, the finances, that I don't have to do it, but it's a choice. And I want to do it for loved ones, to help others, to have our young people grow stronger and happier, and
more grounded and more connected.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you'll be sharing the journey, because it'll be less about what you've learned about nutrition, because if you're doing any courses right now, you could probably just throw them up in the air, because it's like it's everything that you innately know is actually going to legitimize. And
actually, the one of the courses that I'm doing ERC, but as part of the ERC, there's a course that you've got to do, which is about becoming immortal. It's called Becoming Immortal, and it's teaching you how to tune in with yourself to understand exactly what it is that you need. So there is knowledge, because we did learn about nutrition and herbs, but then what do you need? What is it that you so it's good to have that knowledge about all the range of stuff that you can have access to, and then you take your pick. And it's absolutely fascinating, because I've got naturopathy there on my fridge for every single element. And then when I feel that I'm out of balance with one of the elements, because this is what I'm doing, the 5 elements, then I just go and say, what resonates now in this particular, yes, cayenne pepper. I'm going to have a little bit more of that, because
it's igniting your intuition.
Exactly. So using the knowledge, but with intuition.
Yeah. Well, 5 element is ancient Chinese.
It is,
It's wisdom.
Yeah.
Healing.
Ancient.
It's not like we've learned, I'm talking about the stuff, with 5 food groups, and we've learned about nutrition, and we've learned that this, we need this and that. It's just like, if it's up to me, I'm going to be on a mission to remove meat from everyone's diet. Like, it's just, like, I just do not want people killing animals. I'm no more. Yeah. There's no reason for it. What we learned is just, so that's one of my, it's just so deep.
It's amazing. That's amazing. It's so important. It's people just, what they put into their bodies.
It's just that we don't know, because we've been conditioned to believe it. And I was told my ancestors did this and well, it actually was all a lie, But on that note, our calls always dive deep.
Half-hour call,
So I've dropped in the thread. We talked about North Node. So if you haven't got your chart, then we'll do a bit of fun on the North Node. I don't know if any of that's relevant now, but it will definitely give us a little bit of guidance for now, until we know what else is true. So we can play in that space of astrology until we know otherwise. So if you haven't done your chart, there's a link there. Catch the replay. And then if there's any questions, just let me know.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Sophie.
Thank you so much for your time.
Have a great day, ladies. Bye.
Bye.